Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of The Opposite Sides of the Spectrum. If you are new, I'm Lauren,
And I'm Tiara.
and today we're going to start out with a question, and it's simply just asking, since this is about Black women, since we're doing our Black women series, as a Black woman, what would you like others to understand about you specifically?
Okay, I have a side note. So I could not understand Lauren's handwriting. And I've been staring at that sentence for the longest, wondering what it says. Okay. Um, I think something I would want people to understand about me as a black woman specifically is that I'm a human being. Because a lot of people want to forget that black women are human beings. And I feel like that plays into like history and how we came over as not being human beings, being treated worse than animals than human beings. But that's something I would want people to understand is that I'm not this superhero person. I'm just a human being.
I think for me that I'm a very multifaceted person, but that does not mean that I have to give every single piece of me in every single situation.
Mm.
Like, I think that's something I'm really, really learning of just, you can be exhausted. It's okay to just take a step back.
It's okay to feel your feelings, be
Yeah.
tired, be exhausted.
So I think, like, yeah, I have a cape, but I think I need that for me.
Yeah.
I need to save myself.
I like that you said that because it's like us as black women, we are under the expectation that we can't be tired, we can't be exhausted, we can't
Yeah.
rest. So I really like that you said that.
I know a lot of people that are exhausted right now. So yeah, it's possible because we're people. We're not. Sometimes I do wish I was a superhero because I can control what I want to control.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that's not how life works. Because if it was, I think everybody'd be in a different situation. So,
This episode is slightly guest starring my dog because she's on the couch.
oh, they can see her.
I don't know. I don't think so. But I
Oh,
know y'all see me petting something.
yes.
Hey, baby. Try to get her to go to sleep. Um, so for the queer segment, I didn't have anything planned for the queer segment. And every
Girl.
time I don't plan something, I just talk about me or you because we're queer people. So that's easy.
Yeah.
um, but I kind of wanted to talk about mental health and being like more transparent about my mental health. This year has had its foot on my neck and has not let up in any way.
Yeah.
And I've really started the journey of like looking for like a therapist. I want to go more to a psychiatrist other than a therapist because I do want to be put on medication, and I know medication is like really really stigmatized in some situations, but I've seen medication help people like in my real everyday life. So that is something, a journey that I'm going to be on because I know my mental health is not in the best space. And when your mental health is not in the best space, on top of things continuously happening to you, it gets worse. So I'm definitely going to start that journey. It's an annoying journey. Like finding a therapist is like dating, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's literally like dating, and if you date in today's time, you know that pool is filled with nothing. So, and I feel like also like the political climate, like I do want someone that's queer friendly. I do want someone that is I don't know if I want someone that I feel like can relate and understand me as a black woman, But I definitely do want someone that is queer friendly. I think that's an easier thing to find other than relating to me as a black woman because I've tried that when I first was doing therapy and that was not working.
Yeah.
so so yeah, I might document some things like on our channel about it because I do feel like mental health is very important, especially in black spaces because it's been stigmatized for so long. And I like that I see a lot more people like speaking up about it and being honest that they go to therapy or they take medications for their mental health. So I definitely want to be very open about that.
Mm.
So yeah.
What?
Oh, that was all.
Oh. Okay, well, I guess we can move on to the food segment, which is we're going to talk about the food festival that we recently went to.
The Foodie Land in Fort Worth. Last year we went to the one in Dallas, and it rained.
Yeah.
And it was so sad that it rained. But this year we went to the one in Fort Worth, and it had a few of the same vendors that were there last year. Like it had the baby bottle people,
Yeah.
this wing place called Island Wings, I believe. The lobster people were there again. I bought chili oil from this company called Zendrew, and they were there again, which I was very excited about because I went through all my chili oil, and I was like, I definitely got to buy some more of that. So it had a few repeating vendors. And do you feel like the Fort Worth one was smaller than the Dallas one?
I mean, the Dallas park, like the Fair Park, is a pretty big
Mm-hmm.
space, so they probably did have more vendors than the Fort Worth one, but maybe it was a little smaller.
Yeah.
But I just feel like it was too many of the same food place. There wasn't like a variety
Mm.
of food. Like there was, but there wasn't. If that
Yeah.
makes sense.
So there was wings. Um.
There was like the lobster. There was like Asian food. Like it was mainly
Yeah.
like an Asian
Yeah.
cuisine. Like I felt like there really wasn't like there were black stations and other people too, but
Yeah.
it just wasn't really like diverse culturally,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah. It was mostly. I like Asian food, so I'm not mad at that. But now that I think about it, it was mostly like Asian food.
Yeah. And once again, I'm not mad at that either, but that's just my observations of what I noticed.
What are the? I know. So Lauren did a food review, and it was a very. It was just one thing that you really, really liked, basically, and that was the free wings.
Yeah. And that's because it was free. Like I actually did like it, but I just felt like a lot of the food didn't have the taste or seasoning
No
for me.
flavor.
Like they're just really and like I guess over the years, like I can definitely tell my palate has evolved because there's just certain things that I just don't want anymore. I just need a little bit more when it comes to food. But it just for the money that it costs for the food because it was not cheap either.
No, it was
It really, I feel like I could have made it better at home.
not.
I'm just gonna be honest, and I'm not like a chef or anything, but I feel like I could have put some stuff a little better, look, put together things better than what I was eating.
Well, I know the first thing we got. Well, the first thing I got was like this shrimp and rice like plate. That was actually really good. That was the best thing we had that whole day. And then I had like a mango slushy, which was also really good, and the island wings. Those were like my top three. The things that and those egg rolls, those are actually really good too. The things I didn't really care for was I got like this hot Cheeto mozzarella stick.
Uh,
It was fine. I felt like it was too big. I feel like if you're gonna do food at like a food festival where you know people are gonna be eating different stuff, something that you can do to make it cheaper is just make the portion smaller. And I feel like it makes people more willing to try it because like, okay, I don't have to eat this big thing and I don't have room to eat other stuff. So that was okay. I had a mango lassi and it had whipped cream on it, which I've never ever experienced before, and I did not like that at all. And I had these like steamed buns, and I like steamed buns, but they just did not have no flavor at all. Like it had zero flavor. I did not really care for those. And I had a couple of bites of a pupusa. The pork one was good. And Lauren doesn't eat pork or beef, so it's like, yeah, the pork one was good, but why aren't the other ones good? Like there was a bean and cheese one and a chicken one. I felt like the chicken one was kind of dry. I felt like chicken there in general. If you got something with chicken, it was dry.
It
Unfortunately,
just there was. I know like if you're not when it comes to beef and pork, it's easier to season than other meats. That's something I've noticed. Like if
mm-hmm.
you're gonna use a substitution, you really have to season the mess out of it, or
Or
it's
just know
not.
how to understand how to cook it to where it's good.
Like it, I don't know. I just felt like it just. Or were you done mentioning all the stuff you got?
Yeah.
Oh, well, the first thing I got was the oxtail with mac and cheese, and I should have got the oxtail tacos. Because that's kind of what I was eyeing. But then I was like, well, if that's $25, I'm only spending three more to get something in addition with it because it was only three little tacos for
Mm.
$25. I'm just kind of like, well, let me get my money's worth. So I just opted for the oxtail and mac and cheese. And when I tried it, because in total it was like 30 something dollars and 13 cents or something. So when I tried the mac and cheese, it really did not have a lot of flavor. And I didn't know if they did that intentionally because they thought the flavor of the oxtail was gonna like mesh well and give it the mac and cheese that flavor. But I just also felt like the oxtail it was okay, but I think I've definitely had better oxtail before.
Mm.
And I know a lot of people upcharge their prices anyway because it's an event and people are just gonna pay because they already paid to get in.
Yeah.
So they're gonna pay whatever they're gonna pay to get the food. So I just felt like overall it just wasn't enough flavor for me.
How
Especially
much do you feel like that should have been?
based on how it
Yeah.
tasted. Probably like $15.
That's
Like it
fair.
just like I know oxtail is a very expensive meat, don't get me wrong. I understand that. And like the quality, I didn't feel like the quality was like the quantity was fine. Like the
Yeah.
portion was good, but it just didn't have the flavor that I wanted. So, and then I got some empanadas because I've always kind of wanted to try it because I always see it. I've never really tried it.
Hmm.
And I just got the chicken and jalapeno cheese, and it came with I got the mild sauce, and the sauce was really good, but even the sauce really wasn't helping that flavor because the meat did not have flavor. That chicken, it just didn't. It just tasted very bland. So that was annoying. And then I got the bean and cheese papusa. It really didn't have no flavor. It really like when I know I've been saying about everything, but that really was
Yeah.
a common theme of most of the food. It did not have flavor for me. It just tasted like bread and plain beans. So that was not good, really. I did get I got some lemonade, which was good. I mean, lemonade is lemonade.
Oh, the drink.
And all the cheapest drinks were $10 each.
Yes.
That also was crazy.
All the drinks were $10.
And it wasn't like
Yeah.
a jumbo size; it was just a regular size drink,
Mhm.
which was annoying. And then I got this passion fruit sugar cane because I love passion fruit, but that drink was disgusting. It had no passion whatsoever in that drink. It just tasted like I don't even know. Like if y'all have tasted passion fruit, y'all know how it tastes. It didn't taste like that at all. Like I think the sugar cane really messed it up
Mm.
because it was so sweet that I didn't taste any of the fruit. I just tasted a sugar and a cane. Like I did not, I was not feeling that, and that was a waste of $10. And if you know me, you know I like to drink. I just threw the whole drink away.
Which was crazy watching her drink throw a drink away.
It was really nasty. And then I got a funnel cake, which was good. Funnel cake is funnel cake. Haven't had one of that in a while. And then the last two things I got was a fried cracker shrimp bowl, which I actually was kind of excited to try because it sounded really good. And I'm
Mhm.
like, okay, I think this is gonna be good. And then that's the place that was closing, so they gave you like if you buy one, you get one free. So I got a honey sriracha wings, and those were really the best things that I had there, and it was free. And the fried cracker shrimp bowl, I don't know if the sauce was just too, it had too much mayonnaise in it, but I just really wasn't getting a balance of flavors in that food. I just tasted the sauce, and that was pretty much it. I didn't even really taste flavor from the shrimp. So yeah. I think the thing that I liked most was the ring I bought. This one, if y'all can see it, I like that one.
And I see your henna went away.
Oh yeah, I didn't even realize it went away, but yeah, it went away. And then I got a basketball keychain. Those are my two favorite things that I bought there.
Another keychain. If y'all see Lauren Keys, it looks like she can beat you over the head with them.
Well, I mean, I need a weapon anyway, so let me create my own weapon.
But yeah, we did. I know when we went last year, we didn't really shop many of the vendors, so we did shop more of the vendors this year. Yeah. I feel like there was more vendors in Fort Worth than there was food people like selling like stuff. So the stuff they were selling was cool. I watched my partner haggle these people for some $10 henna, which was hilarious. And then yeah, we got the keychains, and there was people. Lauren got to talk to a lady that makes shirts, so that was cool. And I mean, overall, I would give the event like a 5. Last year, I would give the event like a 7. If it didn't rain, maybe an 8. But this year, I was like, okay.
For one, it was super far.
It was, and oh my goodness.
I think Fort Worth is definitely more of like a artsy vendor type spot, and Dallas is more of like a food spot.
And people in Fort Worth don't come for us for that, because
no, like that's not like, no, I'm a very artsy person too. Like I am more on the performing arts side of things. I love, like, especially since I'm starting with my business, and I like more of like fashion and stuff. I love what Fort Worth has when it comes to vendors that cultivate more so with fashion. But if I'm going to a food event, then I'm expecting good food.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's an audition of how to get in. I'm sure they're not just picking random people to host at this event where you could possibly make a lot of money. So I feel like if you're really auditioning and vetting people who you want in this for these few days, then I think we need to up the voting or something. But yeah, I would give it a 5 out of 10 as well.
We'll put Lauren on the committee for next year to vet the vendors, because she was not feeling them. And yeah, the drive was really, like, it was a road trip.
Yeah.
And even just to get, because we were at where they do horse racing, or
like the Fort Worth Speed Race, Speedway, something.
Where they do that. And just we got to the place, and just getting to where the food festival was 10 minutes in itself to even like navigate through wherever we were. So it was just really, really far. I didn't really notice I bought the tickets to Fort Worth and not Dallas. So that's also, I was like, oh, okay, I guess we're going to Fort Worth.
Yeah.
But now that you say that, every time I've gone to Fort Worth, just in general, it's been for, there's this pizza place I really like called Zalot. And Fort Worth was the closest location to me, so I would go to Fort Worth for the pizza place. But I mainly go to Fort Worth for plant shops and record stores.
Yeah. Like, that's why I say, like, Fort Worth is more of like the artsy.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
I've been to like a breakfast spot in Fort Worth like once. And the fact I don't remember what it is means it was just like, okay. Yeah. It wasn't terrible. I remember places that are terrible.
Yeah.
And I remember places that are really good. But it was fine. So I guess Fort Worth is not for the food.
No offense to people that do live in Fort Worth. I'm sure there are good spots. Yeah. But
maybe I need to let us know where the good food spots are in Fort Worth.
Yeah.
But the foodie land, I was a bit disappointed by the quality of the food as well. Like I had a few good things, but I also had a few things that were really not worth the money.
Yeah, spending over $100, and then the parking. They said it was 12,
That parking
but
irritated me.
with tax, it was like 14 something. And I've never been to a place where there was tax on the parking. Like whatever that price is,
Yes.
it just is.
And then you
So
could only use your credit or debit card. Like you couldn't pay in cash.
yeah,
So it's like if that's the case, then just put what the parking is on the sign instead of being like
hmm
it's $12 plus tax. But you can't use cash.
which
So
is
just
crazy.
put the price.
Like I know they made a lot of money out of that venue because you had to pay to get in, you had to pay to park, you pay to get the food. Like I know they made a lot of money
Yeah.
over those courses of 3 days when people were coming. So they really got their money out of you.
Yeah. Hopefully that's an event I will be ready and prepared to do next year because I wanted to do it this year, but I just don't have the space to store all my products I would have
Yeah.
to make for it. So hopefully that is an event I can get in on next year. Now there was a couple of places I forgot to try. It's this place they sell the best sweet potato pie. Oh my gosh, that sweet potato pie is so good. And there was another place. Did you see the people that were doing banana pudding?
I don't remember.
Well, there were people that were doing like banana pudding, and I thought that was really cool. Um, I like banana pudding, but I'm very picky about it. Cause if I take that first bite and I don't like it, I'm not eating it.
Well,
So I was very iffy about the banana pudding.
I don't eat banana pudding correctly, but I don't care. Because I don't like bananas, but I like the flavor of banana pudding and the vanilla wafers.
So you're a cookie pudding. That's something new. It's called cookie pudding.
Yeah, I
Where
would
you make it
prefer
without the
that.
bananas.
Yeah, but I like the concept of it. Because I don't like the texture of bananas. Like it's very moist and stringy, and I don't like that.
So you just like the flavor.
Yeah.
You like that's you with all fruit. You just like the flavor.
No, I like grapes and grapefruit.
two fruits.
And I like pineapples. I like acidic things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I'm working on my fruit, but right now, like definitely grapefruit is my go-to fruit. I love it, and surprisingly, Walmart's has the best, which is crazy to me. I know that sounds crazy,
yes,
but they've been better than Kroger's grapefruit because their quality just went really down with grapefruit. So I'm like, let me try Walmart, and it was actually really good. So that was surprising to me because I don't usually get fruits and vegetables from Walmart, but
that's another thing we tried. So like for one, we didn't realize we were there as long as we were because it was 9:30.
Well, we got there like around 5:30.
Yeah,
so,
I literally I didn't look at the time the whole time, but when we looked up, it was 9:30, and they were like we close in 30 minutes, and I'm like, oh, okay, so that's how we got the buy one get one deal.
mm-hmm.
But there was also this guy passing out the I don't know the name for this, but it's when they put the fruit on the skewer and they dip it in sugar and it's hard on the outside.
Like candy.
Yeah, like candied fruit basically. And I saw people around with it all day, and I'm like, I want to get that, but I also don't want to pay the $12-15 to get it. So I was glad when the guy was handing out the samples, and I didn't realize he was handing them out because they were basically about to close. They're probably just trying to get rid of them. But it was good.
But it wasn't worth.
I wouldn't pay $15 for it, but it was good.
You can just make that at home, y'all. Y'all can just get some grapes and freeze that bad boy in the freezer, and it's good. Like I just like a lot of the things were very overpriced.
Yeah,
tremendously.
Yeah,
like some things I paid for was not bad, but certain things I'm like drink. Why are like a basic lemonade $10?
Yeah, $10 is crazy
for a drink. And I had my baby bottle in the car because I thought they were gonna check our bags and I couldn't bring it in. I could have got free drinks the whole time, y'all. So next year I am gonna
bring your bottle.
I will say no, that's worth the investment because you can just bring it back and just get free drinks. Clean it out before you bring it, but please.
The fact we have to tell people that.
Yeah, they didn't really check bags. Now the Dallas one, I think they did check bags.
Yeah, but it was also raining.
Yeah.
So I think they were just like, just keep it moving. I bring okay, so a good tip, if you go to a food festival, bring baggies with you, like gallon baggies. Because I know I'm not gonna eat all the food at the food festival. So I brought gallon baggies to like put leftovers and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
I
that
didn't
is a
eat
good
in.
idea. Cause
So
I
that's my
especially,
tip.
yeah, I don't eat a lot of. Well, I mean, I guess I kind of. Well, no, I did not really finish a lot of my food. I take that back. It was just either nasty or I'm just like, I guess.
Yeah.
So
Well, at least now you know you could probably sell your oxtails if that's what they sell.
yeah, I do want to remake oxtails. The last time I used too much of the browning sauce. I used way too much, and
Mm.
that messed it up. But I would want to try to do oxtails again. So
Well, if y'all
yeah.
go to Foodie Land and you're, because they don't just do it in Texas, they travel to different states.
Mm.
So if you feel like it was better in your state, or if you feel like you had the same experience as us, let us know. I do think the Dallas one was better than the Fort Worth one. I will
Yeah.
stand on that.
The food options were better,
Yeah.
a lot better. So yeah, the Dallas option I would recommend going to Fair Park
Yes.
rather than going to the Fort Worth. Now, if you live in Fort Worth, okay, it's closer. I
Right.
get it,
Right.
but the Dallas one was better. Not being biased.
We're gonna move on to our
Or
music segment.
if you want to skip the dating, then I guess.
We're not skipping the dating. I feel like the dating goes with the topic.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, this week for the music, I'm sure a lot of y'all know who Latoya Luckett was. She actually was in Destiny's Child, I think, before. Yeah, she was in Destiny's Child before Michelle, or was that her replacement, or was she just?
Oh, okay. I know. Okay, I know. There's drama around Destiny's Child. There used to
Yeah,
be 4 of them,
yeah,
or there was 3 of them, and one of them was replaced.
yeah. Latoya Luckett was someone who was originally in Destiny's
Yes.
Child, and she can. I like her music. I've actually re-listened to a lot of her things. She actually has. She put this out like almost 10 years ago, but it's a really cool little mini series she did with her songs. So it's really like a little mini.
Oh, like a visual album.
I don't know if I wouldn't say it's an album because it's
Uh
only
huh.
3 songs,
Okay.
but
So
she
a visual EP.
yeah, it's like a storyline within the
Yeah.
music, and it's like for the first 5 to 10 minutes, it's really just a storyline. Like her acting is it's really
Oh,
good,
that's cool.
and
I like
then
stuff like that. I love that.
yeah, and then the remainder of it is the music itself, and she actually has like 3 parts to it, and it's good. I'm like, dang, she should have continued.
Mhm.
But the songs are called Back to Life, which is basically her talking about she was in this relationship with this guy, and it started off really amazing, and then his best friend came back, and he really wanted her to meet her, and she could tell right off the bat that the best friend liked him, but he was in denial and he
Mm.
didn't want to admit it. And she voiced her concerns, and he was like getting really defensive. And so it got to a point where she just felt like she wasn't prioritized anymore in the relationship, and they started arguing. And so they broke up. And then he was trying to get back together with her because he realized, oh, she did like me, because she was definitely like, even the way that she was just very touchy feeling all up on him, you could tell that she had romantic feelings for him. But I think he was just wanting to stay in his, like, he friend zoned her, but she was not trying to be in the friend zone. So she was trying to make her move right, and she was doing all the touchy feely right in front of the girlfriend.
Crazy.
So she just got sick and tired of it, and she broke up with him, and he was shocked, thought that he was shocked that she left. And so in the second part, the song is called "Used to Be." I like those 2 songs. She ends up going to like a friend's party or something, and the lady there, his best friend, is so petty. She had this beautiful like orange dress, and she poured a drink on it. Like she walked by and just poured it. Like she was just
Mm-mm.
being real messy, and he was trying to win her back, and then she was, declining, saying no, and she went on a date. Her friend set her up on this blind date, and I'm like, this is why I don't have my friends set me up. That man was just talking about nothing. Like he was just talking about so random, it didn't even make sense. And she was definitely like, yeah, I'm not going back on a date again with this man. But in the last part, they end up getting back together, and da 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 da. But I just really like that mini storyline. I don't feel like there's a lot of music videos where there's a storyline in it anymore. Yeah. So, like a lot of people, like I've seen like a lot of like music videos have this theme now where they'll just replay one part over and over again. I don't like that. It's very annoying. I'm not a fan of it. Like, I'm just not gonna watch the video at all. But yeah, y'all check it out.
Oh, you mean those like the visualizers where it's just one thing?
I guess so. I don't like it. It's like it keep going over and over. I don't like that. But yeah, y'all just check it out. Like I said, it's called Back to Life. If you Google it, it'll pop right up, and it's really good. So
I love that. I love the visual albums. I love long music videos that have like a storyline to them because I love music, so I just feel like it really gives like an insight of what the song is about or what the album is about. So that's really
cool. You have an input, Princess? She said yeah. She agrees.
So our dating segment and our topic kind of go hand in hand.
Kinda. Sort of.
So our dating topic is about dating Black women specifically. Do we want to talk from both perspectives of straight and queer women or just queer women?
We can do both.
Okay.
I'm not straight, y'all. I've never dated a man, so I'm sorry, I can't give an input on that. But she can.
Oh my gosh. So we thought about this topic because we were on the phone the other day and we were talking about how why women settle for less in relationships basically to get what they want. And I put that in air quotation marks because I do genuinely feel like a lot of people are very marriage obsessed over, is this someone I want to spend the rest of my life with? I want to tie my life with this person. That means financially, emotionally, spiritually, physically. Like, am I thinking about all those things before I pick this person to marry? Or am I just so focused on getting the ring and having the wedding that a lot of other things are overlooked because you want to have like that moment and that like experience?
I think it's definitely the second option. Not saying people don't do the first option, but I think a lot of people are fixated on the idea of things more so than reality of it.
Than what it is.
Because it's hard being with another person regardless. In any type of dynamic, it's not it's not just about you anymore.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people think about the emotional connection, if you even have the capacity to even do what you want to do. Because a lot of us don't have the capacity, but we just want somebody there, just have somebody there as a placeholder. And it's just like, or I think some people think they see clearly, okay, this person and I are not really aligning, but I still like them. So maybe I can change them into who I want them to be. And you're going to have a very rude awakening trying to do all that. So I just feel like a lot of people are very marriage obsessed. And when you ask people, why do you want to get married? I feel like I really have not heard a good answer. And when I say good, I'm not saying that your answer is necessarily wrong.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's just it's a very external answer. It's not really like an internal, like, well, I've done the work. I know what I want. It's more so, I want to be married because I want a husband by my side. And I'm not saying that's wrong, but
what else?
We got to think more than just you want a man or a person by your side, or I want a family. Okay, are you just saying you just want to follow the societal norms, or is this something you really want for yourself?
Because having a family, getting married to a person is no joke, but having kids, raising a whole nother human being is something people take so lightly, and I will just never ever understand that. Because people talk about having a family like it's like getting a cup of juice. Like,
Yeah,
having a
it's
family is no
not.
joke.
It's not a joke. And I think people need to take that more seriously. And I don't know when we've gotten to a point, and I know we're going off topic. I don't know why we've gotten to a point where we put children having kids before marriage.
Oh,
That
girl.
I don't understand that, because having a kid is harder than marriage, in
It
my opinion.
is.
Because if you don't work out, you can leave and you don't have no strings attached. But if you have a child, you still stuck with that person
For at least 18 years. You are
It's
tied to that
really
person.
forever.
It is really forever, but for at least 18 years, you're stuck with that person. Because once that child is grown, I feel like you you don't have to call the other parent to be
Right.
like, hey, they're doing this, this, and this. But as kids,
Yeah,
like you might need help picking them up from school. You got to tell them about their sports schedule or whatever. So yeah, you are tied to that person, and you have to communicate with that person for at least the next 18 years.
Even
if you're going to choose to have a child with them.
even if you don't like them, you gotta
Yes.
co-parent, because your child is seeing how y'all co-parent. You might think they're not paying attention, but they are. Trust me, they're paying attention.
As a kid, that I spent the first 12 years of my life with my parents being married, and from 12 to now of my parents being divorced, your kids do pay attention to every little thing. You can think you're hiding stuff from your kids, but your kids know.
They do know.
They see, they hear, they know everything. It doesn't matter how hard you try to hide or think you're hiding it.
You're not.
Yeah, you're not. They see it all.
You just haven't asked them. But they see it. But
I do think that's like an interesting. I feel like this is kind of a debate people have, but some people think having kids is easier than marriage.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. Like, I think it's the complete opposite, because you can get married and then be like, okay, this person's not for me, and get a divorce and never talk to that person again. But if you have a kid with somebody, you are forced to talk to them and communicate with them until that child is grown, basically.
Yeah.
So I don't understand where people think having kids is easier than marriage. Like, I really truly, if you feel that way, please. I really just want to understand like that perspective, but I don't see how you actually tying yourself to a person
that you don't even
easier
like
than just getting married, with having the option of getting divorced and just never dealing with them again.
Yeah, I don't see that, because a lot of these people don't like each other. And I think a lot of people understand, oh, this was just lust. This was definitely not love.
And lust, or that the obsession of getting somewhere where you think you should be in life, whether that's being married, whether that's having kids. Like, I feel like some stuff isn't just only lust. It's more of, I feel like I should be in this point in my life, so this person's around, so let me just do that so I can get to the next step.
Well, maybe that's the question we need to ask. Am I just a check off on your list? Because I'm more than just a little check. I'm not. If you're just settling with me because you just feel like you're not getting to a step in life, I'm not your person.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be your person.
That's a good question to ask. I know we have 10 billion questions to ask while you're dating, and you should ask all these questions while you date. Yeah, that's the point of dating.
Like, are you nervous that you are not in a place where you want to be, and is that a reason why you're dating? Because you're just trying to rush to get off the market, but you really don't. You're really not ready.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people are not ready for what they want to receive. And then they're confused and why it didn't work out. And it's just like, man, well, this is what you did.
And these are the results.
Yeah. So I'm not understanding why you're not understanding why this didn't work out.
I have two stories. The first story is related to when you said, what do people like feel ready for marriage? So one of my coworkers, he is, I don't know why one morning people want to talk about marriage in the cafe, but he was saying that the first time he got married, he was not ready to be a husband. And he was very like open and transparent about that. And he's like, I think marriage is a very beautiful thing when it's done right, and both people are ready for that commitment and ready for marriage. And he's like, my second marriage is better because I wanted to be a husband. I wanted to be married the first time I got married. And the second time he got married, he said I was ready to be a husband.
There's a difference.
Yes.
Being
There's
married,
a big difference.
Because being ready, saying you're ready to be a husband, it's kind of the same concept of I want to have a child, but I don't want to be a father. It's the same thing. You just want to exist, but you don't want the responsibility. You just want the perks of it.
Yes.
And that's not how a relationship works.
And I think that's the difference between those answers of I want to be married because I want the perks of it. I want to be a husband or I want to be a wife because I want to put in the work in the relationship.
Yeah. But our dating segment is really about dating Black women. That's what the dating segment is about today. And this is not to this is not, I'm gonna put a disclaimer. This part of the podcast is not us downing other races of women, but as a Black woman, I can only speak from a Black woman's experience because I'm Black.
And then and also I feel like me and you, we do surround ourselves with more Black women, so we do see more of the Black woman experience, not just from me or not just from Lauren, but just from like the other people we surround ourselves with in our lives. So I feel like we can talk about this perspective more because of that. Not saying other races of people don't do this, but this is something we're just talking about from personal experience.
Yeah, so please do not come here and say, oh, she said that. That's not what we're saying. We're just speaking from, like she said, our personal experiences and what we like about Black women, specifically when it comes to dating. So,
because that's all Lauren dates.
I mean, I've liked other races of women.
Yeah.
Outside of just Black women, y'all. But my preference would be Black or brown.
Yes.
That is my preference. Not saying I wouldn't give anybody else a chance, but those are my two top two choices. But it's just, I feel like when it comes to dating a Black woman, specifically from a queer perspective, it's just a very beautiful experience when done correctly and right. It's
also a very intense experience.
Yes.
I just feel like dating a woman, period, point blank, is a really intense experience. But I have not dated any Black women, but I feel like if I did date a Black woman, it would just be a very like intense experience. And intense in a good way.
Yeah.
So
I have dated a Black woman. It was very intense. In a good way and not so good. Like I feel like when two people are really wanting something, specifically Black women are wanting to date, and you're in a good space, it's just something about a Black woman's touch, a Black woman's love that you're not gonna get with anybody else. That's just my experience. So don't come for me. But it's just a very intense feeling that is very memorable and just very emotional, but I think it's just a very like a safe haven personally. Because, and once again, I'm not saying that you cannot be a safe haven if you Black. I'm not saying that. So please don't twist my words. But I'm just saying that, especially us as Black women, and I'm not saying that everybody understands you in the same way, because that's not true, including Black people. Yeah. But the women I have personally liked and loved, there was like a just, I don't have to say anything, but you understand.
The looks.
Yeah.
You have a conversation with your eyes.
Yes.
You know exactly what you're saying.
I know how you feel because I have those feelings translated. It's like what's a transference? Like you just feel it. Yeah. Like the feelings just come naturally.
As the kids say, the vibes.
Sure, yeah, the vibes, yeah. You just have this feeling like, okay, she's not in a good mood today. Yeah. Or she in a good mood today. Especially when y'all both are going hard at y'all professional job and people expect y'all to do all that, y'all just come home in that space, you don't have to worry about all that mess. Yeah. It's just a different type of like I'm here and I get you and I understand.
And you don't have to say much for me to understand.
Yes. Yeah. That's what I really enjoyed about dating a Black woman and just I love, and I've said this in other episodes, but specifically with black women because I've seen a lot of us struggle with it. But I love knocking on the emotional vulnerability door. I
Yeah.
do. I'm like, hello, like, are you in here? Because that's my favorite thing to break down when it comes to women. Because I see like yeah, I'm gonna have fun because I see this not something that she likes, but something I like and I need. So we gonna see how this gonna go. So that's I really do enjoy seeing a woman actually let her guard down, specifically a
Yeah.
black woman, and actually being very vulnerable. That's something I really thoroughly enjoy doing and seeing. So I know I
Love
just went on a rant about it. I can let you.
that. You're good. Um, so I something I've been learning about in my relationship is it's okay to like be soft, which is not like a freedom I've had in like my past relationships I've been in with men or women. I've not felt this way. So when I see black women being loved on and being able to live their true selves and actually be soft and not have to be this strong black woman, it's really nice. And it's really nice to come home and know I don't have to put on a cape again
Mm-hmm.
after just getting off from work or being out in the world or whatever. So it is really nice when black women are loved correctly. I know as black women we get so much crap from everything, from people talking about how black women are not good mothers or not good whatever, not good dating partners, but I feel like we're not given the same grace as other
Mm-hmm.
women. Um, like people like to call black women aggressive, but if it's a Latina woman, she's a spicy Latina.
Yeah.
So it's like, y'all, this is the same thing. Y'all just don't give black women the same grace as y'all give other races of women. So it is nice being in a relationship where I feel like I'm given grace to like express myself and express my feelings and have a bad day and it's okay. So
Yeah.
that's nice.
Yeah, and I'll add to that too of just I really enjoy the affirmations when
Yeah.
it comes specifically to black women too because I'm not looking for that cape. Like you can burn that cape. I don't care. Like I like you for a reason, and I think a lot of people don't know how to love black women. And I
Mm.
think there's a specific and everybody's way of love is different, but I feel like there is a specific way in loving certain people.
Yeah.
And if you're not asking how do you want to be loved, and of course they're not telling you, I know that. Okay,
Yeah.
it's hard doing that
Yeah.
too, but you can't just love everybody the same way.
Yeah.
And black women a little rough around the edges, but you got
Mm-hmm.
to understand what you're getting yourself into. If you don't have the capacity, that's okay, that's
Yeah.
fine, but don't sit in here going into sorry princess I'm waiting on her nap. Don't go into a situation dating a black woman knowing you cannot handle who you're dating.
Give us a grace. That would be my advice. If you're gonna date a black woman, give us some grace because the walls, unfortunately, the walls we have to build up to protect ourselves are there because when we've let our guard down, people have hurt us. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
all right, let's reinforce the wall. So
Mm-hmm.
someone that's really willing to have that patience and that grace to really break those walls down is it's not a fun experience, but it's a nice experience because a lot of people aren't really willing to actually put the work in and give you the patience for you to
Mm-hmm.
bring those walls
Yeah. Well, as a black woman, what I'm trying to figure out how I was gonna word the
down.
question. I guess as a black woman, when it comes to dating you specifically, what are
Mhm.
things that you would tell people about yourself?
I would tell people that I am like a fun, goofy person, but if I feel attacked, I am gonna put the walls up.
Mm-hmm.
And if I feel like if I'm upset or if I'm frustrated, that's also when I put my walls up. But just to be patient, and my partner does a really good job of asking me what do I need in those moments where I'm just really frustrated or I'm really guarded. So I really like appreciate that of just mainly just like asking what do I need.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be my advice for dating me is give me patience, but also I do struggle to communicate my feelings. So asking what do I need right now? Do I need space? Do I need a hug? Do I need to talk? Like those things are also very helpful. So that would be my advice for dating me. What would be your advice for dating?
I'm not in a place to date right now at all,
Yeah.
and I don't want to date right now. But I think for me, I do require a lot of patience as well.
Yeah.
Um, in different areas, and I know a lot of people get upset with me with certain things because it's like apparently I'm a very different person from their past experiences, so it's literally like them having to readjust everything.
Yeah.
So I do try to be patient. Like I feel like I'm pretty good at compromising and um trying my best to see what I can do in that moment in that situation. But also I know I'm a very like my mood swings all over the place. That's something I'm working on. I'm really trying to get a grasp of that, but that's really rough for me. But I am a very moody person. Like, yes, I know I can be sweet, but my mood swings. I know that can be really annoying, especially sometimes when I don't know why I'm mad.
Yeah.
That's why I am going back into therapy and stuff. But I do care about you. I know I'm not the most affectionate person, but I do show it in different ways.
Yeah.
And I think some people don't realize how much I care until certain things happen. Like, oh, you do care. I'm like, yeah, I care. I just didn't show it in the way that you're used to seeing that people care. I might not say I love you all the time, but that doesn't mean I don't love you or I don't care. I might not be clinging to you, but that does not mean that I don't love or care about you.
Yeah.
I just have my different ways of loving you. And once again, that does not mean either that I'm ignoring your love languages. But it takes me a minute when it comes to the physical portion of things, like physical affection, sex. It just takes a minute for me. So
Yeah.
please be patient. If you know you're somebody that cannot really wait or not wanting to wait, I'm not the person for you.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. That's why there's 7 billion people in the world, so you can get your needs met elsewhere. Because I just cannot. I'm just not in a place where I want to meet that right now. But I will say that about me of just I'm learning to not put my all. No, not saying that I'm not going to put my all into a relationship, but I'm also learning to make time for myself. And I feel like this is the first year I've really started that journey. And it's not bad. Like I do really genuinely like the space and time that I have. But I think that I know that's long winded per usual. I'm a long winded person. But I do like to talk when I'm in the mood to talk.
Yes, Lauren loves to talk. That's what the L stand for. Loves to talk.
Yeah. But if you see I'm not in a good place, just give me my space.
Yeah.
Like I'll it might be a couple of hours, but I'll eventually make my round to you, or I'll send you a message and I'm not feeling to talk to you. But sometimes I just need space to figure out what's going on, and sometimes I don't want to feel suffocated.
Yeah.
Like I'm fine. I just need to breathe.
Yeah.
Because I have a mouth on me when I want to have a mouth on me. I try to keep it closed, but yeah,
go ambulance.
yeah. But yeah, those are the advice about dating me. Like I said, I can be fun when I want to be fun.
Yeah.
I am kind of a serious person.
Yes.
So I'm better than I was in the past. Like it has improved, but there's still work. There definitely is still work around that. But I am a very serious person. But I feel like I can be goofy at times.
Yeah.
It just really depends. For me, everything it depends on the time. It depends how I feel. I'm a depends type of person.
Yes.
So, and if I make a plan, that's the plan. Unless it's an emergency, we sticking to that plan. So if you know you're not somebody that likes to make plans, please give me a minute to adjust. Or like, hey Lauren, this is what I'm thinking of, but it's not concrete. That way I know, okay, there's a possibility things can change.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's me. So yes.
My other dog Luke grabs his food from the dog bowl and brings it over to us to then drop it on the ground and eat it again. So I do not understand why he does that. He also doesn't do it all the time. It's so random. But our main topic today is Black women's intuition. Mm-hmm. And I want to ask you, where do you think you got your intuition from?
Honestly, both of my parents, but more specifically my father, because that man's intuition is crazy. Like he knows stuff, but also I know I'm literally my dad's twin in a lot of areas, so I'm not surprised because he wanted me.
Yeah.
So I'm really not surprised. But I feel like that's where my intuition definitely came from. Mm-hmm.
I feel like my intuition, I don't feel like it came from either one of my parents. I feel like it more came from, it's a mixture of my grandma and my great aunt. I feel like that's where I got my intuition from. And my intuition, it comes in like both ways of like being just like a little nudge to like this presence I can feel. And it just kind of depends on the situation of what it is, like how it comes.
Yeah, I get that.
So, how would you explain like your intuition? Like, what does it feel like to you?
I feel like for me, once again, it's very different. Sometimes I'll just have a reoccurring feeling that just overplays in my head. Like, okay, you need to get your tire fixed. You need to get your tire fixed. Like, it's just things like that. Like, I have a feeling, okay, if I don't get it fixed, then something's going to happen.
Yeah.
Or sometimes I really won't feel anything at all. It's just like a subtle thought in my head that I kind of just like, I don't think I need to give this attention, but I realize those are the most times I should have given it freaking attention because I'm like, dang it, something told me to do that and I didn't do it.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's a very reoccurring thing. It's a very silent intuition, or sometimes it's just flat out. Like in my job, I knew exactly they were talking about me.
Yeah,
they didn't use a name.
Was it a feeling for you?
Yeah. They didn't use a name. They didn't use a gender. I just had a feeling they're talking about me.
Yeah.
So sometimes it does depend on the situation, and sometimes it's just I just have a very strong gut feeling that something is not right. And most of the time I'm pretty correct. Yeah. I might not know at that moment at that why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling about a person or a situation, but over time I'll get information, even if it's not from me, it's from different people. I'm like, oh, that's why I felt the way because she was or he was doing that. So that's kind of how intuition works for me.
Can you give examples of times where you did follow your intuition and you didn't follow your intuition?
I'm trying to think. Yeah, this week I followed my intuition at my job. I'm gonna definitely give the abbreviated version. I'm not spending the whole podcast talking about my job. But long story short, I did something I was supposed to do the correct way, and somebody else was mad, so they told their manager, who then reported it to my section manager, and which could have got me in trouble because now I'm on their radar for something bad, even though I didn't do anything wrong. But my manager was just so angry. Like he was trying to find that manager to like go talk to him. Like he was pissed. So I called people to get their opinion, advice on what I need to do, and he ended up telling me that's how I knew it was me. And I just like he was when I went on my break when he started going off on the thing. I'm just like I have a feeling it's about me, and it wasn't just me. Later to find out it was other people as well on the list. But the difference is they got an email. I didn't get any type of email.
Yeah.
I just that was really off of just instinctual feeling that I think they're talking about me. Especially when they mention the state, I'm like, yeah, I think they're definitely talking about me. But that's the time that I guess I listened to my intuition and I just went ahead and started processing how I wanted to navigate that situation.
Yeah.
And now I feel like better about it. Like it is what it is. I'm not gonna dwell in that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna move on. And that's something I'm trying to do better with. But a time that I should listen to my intuition and I did not. When my car messed up, something kept telling me I probably should get this fixed, but I was really wanting it to be the battery, and I wasted $200 on a battery I really didn't need. I should have just followed my instinct and got it fixed there. And the shaking, I would have just spent $300 instead of $500 total.
Yeah.
So that's the time I definitely did not listen to intuition. I should have.
I feel like a time. So there's this one time in my life where my intuition, like it was just so strong. It felt like a physical, like presence, like wall in front of me. Um, it was actually during high school, and I was going back to one of these boys' places to do whatever. And like right when we got to like turning to where like their apartments were, it's like this wall came up. Like I literally physically could not take a step forward. It's the craziest feeling I've ever like experienced. And I was like, actually, I'm just gonna turn around. So that is a time I'm glad I listened to my intuition, because who knows what would have happened if I didn't. And I feel like there are like small times where I'll just be like walking my dog or something, and my brain will just be like, don't go right. And I'm like, why don't go right? Like sometimes I like question it too. And I'm like, why don't go right? But I'm just like, okay, let me just listen to it, because it's not like it happens all the time. It's just like sometimes random of like, don't do that. Yeah. Don't go this way or go this way. And it's like, I listen. Sometimes I don't want to listen to it because I'm like, it sounds silly. But I'm just like, okay, why is this doing this now? Because it's like, that's an everyday routine for me to take my dogs out. And I never like, my mind never pops up to be like, go this way, go this way. So I'll listen to my intuition in times like that. Times I don't. I'm trying to think of a time I didn't listen to my intuition. I feel like this year I have not been listening to my intuition when it's come to like the markets I've done, because especially the last market. So the last market I was preparing to do got canceled, but something told me to just skip out on this market, mainly to rest. But every time I'm like, no, I just need to do something. It's fine. I do it anyway, and it ended up getting canceled anyway. So I'm just like, I should have listened to myself and just rested. Yeah. So yeah, I feel like when it comes to my business, I'm still learning when to listen to my intuition, because sometimes I don't know if it's fear or my intuition. So that's kind of what I struggle with when it comes to my business and my intuition.
That's a good point. Cause yeah, I think that that's something that people probably could look more into. But I don't know. I feel like for me, I know when it's just straight up fear.
Yeah.
Like I'm just terrified in doing it. It's not even my intuition. I'm just scared and my body's reacting in a way where it doesn't want to do it, but I need to do it.
Yeah.
But I feel like for me in my business, like I'm still in the very, very beginning stages,
Mm.
but something that too, like something told me just to go ahead and start this.
Yeah.
And usually I don't start anything. Like I'm a person that I can generate billions and billions of ideas, but I don't do anything
Mm-hmm.
with those ideas. I feel like as you get older, it's like, dang, I really have nothing to show for myself right now. And it's like, well, okay, people are expecting this of you, expecting that of you, and
Yeah.
I'm expecting this of myself. So it's like, okay, I need to do something. But I think this is the first time I've really kind of started and with something I had because I feel like I'm going to enjoy this a lot, and it's not just something that hopefully can make money, but it's actually a passion behind it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this is in just other areas in my life where it's like I think this will be very helpful for me. But yeah, that I think I definitely did have a strong intuition to start it because I had this idea at my desk. I was bored, and I'm like, a lot of innovations have been just from a very simple thought.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us want to make things so complicated and complex, and then it didn't even have to get to that point. So
It's kind of like that saying, you don't have to reinvent the wheel.
yeah, like this is not something new, but it is like
Yeah.
the core is not new, but what I want to add to it is new, and I
Yeah.
think that's most of what you create has already been done. Is you're just stemming off of that tree that's already been planted.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I love that. But I really want to encourage women in general to follow your intuition, especially when it comes to dating, because I feel like a lot of women just disregard their intuition when it comes to
Hmm.
dating, because again, you're so focused on whatever goal you're trying to meet instead of, is this a person that's going to love me for who I am and care about me? So our intuition is there for a reason. And sometimes I feel like people do things to try to suppress your intuition or try to make you not listen to yourself. But when your body and your mind is reacting, it's for a reason. It's not
Yeah.
just for nothing. It's for a reason. Even if people tell you it's for nothing, it's for a reason. And 9 times out of 10, you know what the reason is.
Yeah, I feel like for me when it comes to dating, like my body has definitely given me signs like Lauren, you should not do this.
Hmm.
But I wanted it so bad that I just did it anyway. And sometimes you have to make a hard decision just
Yeah.
letting somebody go, even if you know you love that person, because it's just like you mentally like for me it's like a thing where I mentally want to do something, but when I get the opportunity my body just freezes. Like I've definitely been in
Mm.
that situation too where it's
Hmm.
like I had a plan of what I wanted to do, and then my body just did not want to move.
Yeah, your body said no.
Yeah, and then it just I think that was definitely my body just saying no. I've definitely put myself in situations where I wanted that experience so bad, but I know I was not really ready all the way.
Yeah.
But my body like, Lauren, no, like it's not a good idea. But I'm like, I'm gonna do it anyway because I'm a stubborn person, and I'm just gonna do what I want to do. And then you're just gonna learn the hard way. This is like, I don't regret that the experience, but at the same time, it's like, dang, I probably could have definitely prevented myself from being hurt had I just said no.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've definitely done that where like my intuition is very strong and I'm very honest with myself, but I still want to ignore it because I want that person so bad.
Yeah.
And it's just like when you're desperate about something or someone, it's never a
Mm.
good, it's not going to be good.
I feel like desperation is another like feeling that will suppress your intuition. Because if you're doing things out of desperation, you're really not listening to yourself anymore. You just have this
Hmm.
like hyper fixation on, I want to do this thing. And
Yeah.
I'm so desperate to do it that I'm not gonna listen to myself. I'm not gonna really see if this thing or this person is good for me. I'm just gonna go and get it because I'm desperate for
That was definitely with this place, and that's why I'm spending more money to move out in July because I knew something was not right. And
it.
it was this
Mm-hmm.
other place I really wanted to tour, like at the very end, but I was talking to communicating with the other people that I'm with now, And it's like I should have just went ahead and called myself and scheduled an appointment to tour that home because it was in the area I wanted. It was cheaper than what I'm paying now, and it was a house. And it was just like, dang, I should have listened to myself and just did that instead of putting down a deposit on a place that I'm moving out in 9 months. Like I really just wasted $3,200 moving to a place that I really didn't even want.
Yeah.
So like the place I really wanted was taken, unfortunately, but it just, yeah, y'all. I'm done with the risk taking. I'm just gonna continue to calculate my risk because that's just who I am. Yeah, I'm not just gonna make irrational decisions because that's not who I am as a person, and that just does not work for me. For some people, it works great, but in certain situations, for me, like I've tried to take risks and chances, and like you learn from every situation. I've learned to just go back to what works for me.
Yeah,
that's it. I'm fine with that. So the next time I'm starting to look for homes, I'm definitely not gonna rush. If my lease is up and I gotta stay with my parents for a little bit, then that's just what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
So if I gotta pay for storage for a month, which is gonna suck, but that's gonna be cheaper anyway than paying $300 up front. Yeah. So if that's just what I gotta do, and I gotta talk to my parents about that because I have not talked to them about that, but I'm hoping that's not what I have to do. Yeah. But if it is, I know I'll be okay.
Yeah.
So.
And look out for her story time in a few months because she's gonna air these people out.
Girl, I'm just sick and tired of it. Like it's really just the spider's house. Because it's just spider after spider after spider. It's like every time I kill one, another one pops up. Like the more I clean, it's just time to go. Mm-hmm. It's time to go.
Well, what would be your advice to Black women for this episode?
Don't allow people to make you feel crazy when you feel in some type of way. If somebody's trying to talk you out of it, that's probably because they know you're right and they don't want you to guess that because then they're not going to get what they want.
I cannot say yes enough for that.
So if you have a feeling, you investigate it, think about it, really sit and look and observe and ask yourself, why am I having these feelings? Especially if it's with a specific person or a specific situation. Why is my energy off? What is going on? So I also pay attention
to like the signs and how you feel.
Pay attention to how you act around people. Pay attention to how they're treating you. Pay attention to the underlying tones of certain situations. Because sometimes it's not going to be direct. Sometimes it's very subtle. And it's just you picking up on things here and there. It's like, something not right. But I will say just make sure that, once again, don't let anybody make you feel crazy and gaslight you into thinking you're wrong when you were right all along.
Yes. That is fantastic advice. I completely agree. My advice is really just follow Lauren's advice. Because I do feel like as women, we are gaslit a lot about how we feel about stuff. And it's frustrating. And like if it's a certain person doing it, maybe like reevaluating if that person should be in your life. But I feel like we are gaslit a lot about our feelings and our emotions. And it's frustrating. Because I do think that makes it harder to follow your intuition because people are telling you to doubt yourself. And I don't think it's ever good to doubt yourself. I think you should always listen to yourself. Because at the end of the day, if you listen to yourself and you made a bad decision, you're like, well, that is what it is. But if you were listening to other people and you made a bad decision, I feel like that's more frustrating.
Sometimes there's certain people you need to go to for certain advice. Not everybody is like if you're talking to somebody about a business versus kids. There's different people for different advice. I would recommend going with somebody you align more of with, unless that's not working. You're just trying to get a different perspective.
Yes.
But yeah, everybody, all advice is not good advice.
Yes.
Even if it's from people that you're close to. Sometimes that just didn't work out, and you know it's not working out. But you try to. Sometimes you psych yourself out like, well, let me talk to somebody who I know is gonna tell me the opposite, so I can just do it, even though I know this is not gonna work. Just stick sometimes to what you know. Like, I know this is not a good decision, and I want to take a risk. I'm gonna take that risk somewhere else, not with this. So, yes.
But I don't have anything else.
Yeah,
I hope y'all enjoyed this episode featuring my dogs. Luke drinking water and eating food, and Princess making her princess noises.
Yeah.
But you can follow me at Tiara the Caterer.
And Dr. Reese, DOCTAREECE, on Instagram, TikTok. Also, I have started uploading a lot more videos on TikTok. Our handle sign is opposite sides 23. So if you search it, you'll definitely find us. So check it out, especially if you're not somebody who gets on Instagram a lot.
Yeah.
It's just like our small clips. And our link is in a bio where you can kind of go to our Spotify if you want to listen to the episodes more in detail. But y'all spread the word, spread the love. We need y'all support with this podcast. Let everybody else know. I know there's a lot of people doing podcasts right now, but
if you want women and queer focus,
yes, then we're the podcast that you need to chime into. So, but yeah, y'all, I hope y'all have a good St. Patrick's Day.
Somebody said St. Patrick's was white people's Freaknik, and that cracked me up.
I mean, it might be.
That was hilarious.
It might be, but if you celebrate it, cool. Have a good day. Wear some green.
Right.
See you 4 clothes, I think. some leprechauns, something.
And also check out our vlogs. We're gonna be vlogging.
Oh yeah.
So check those out too.
Woo. Well, bye guys. See y'all next time.
Bye.